Hello, moms. It's your girl, Sharita, the Behavior and Learning Strategist, coming at you from the Morgan Unlimited Growth Institute, where you can find solutions for your child's behavior and learning challenges. Hello, how y'all doing today? Happy Saturday, y'all. I hope you're all doing well. I'm excited to talk to you today. I'm going to be talking about some things that I've never talked about live before, about my program and pricing. This is the first time, okay, because usually I work with moms and during the consultation we discuss this. So I'm also going to be talking about the Black History class that's coming up. Black History all year round, honey. That's coming up in a couple of weeks. We're working on that, and I'm so excited to talk to you about that. I'll also be talking about my past lives, okay, that we did these past 3 weeks, okay? So there's a lot of good stuff going on today. I'm not drinking tea today, y'all, because I decided today to just drink juice and water because my belly started sticking out a little bit and it was starting to be a little uncomfortable, okay? So it's like, you know, today I'm going to take it down, let my body digest the food that I've been eating, you know, and just take care of myself. Just exercise, drink juice, drink water, okay? So, I have this juice from Juice Hub. I already had the Deli Green juice. This one is orange, pineapple, beet, and cherry. It's cold pressed juice, and it's delicious. Gives energy. All natural juice right on location. I have a cold pressed juicer in my kitchen. I just ain't had time to do it myself. Okay, so I got a little help today. Hope y'all doing well. How the kids doing? How are the children doing? That's what I want to know. So let's get started. First, let me give you a little bit of background because I just had a teacher conference and the teacher asked me what my credentials were or the experience that I have. So I know I tutor children. So a lot of times my moms refer to me as a tutor. And it's kind of hard to understand everything that goes into the program together, okay? So I tutor children. I help improve their literacy and their math, and basically whatever they know, they don't know, they will know. And I fill in the holes in their literacy foundation. So there are a lot of children around the world who are reading and functioning below grade level because they didn't master the basics or they forgot them, okay? And then they are far behind. So now they are in a 7th grade classroom and they're struggling to complete their work independently. So I figure start from scratch, honey. I'm a from scratch kind of person. I bake from scratch. I like to go back to the original spot, figure out what's going on, and then work from there. So that's the same way I do when I'm coaching my students. Is anything that they should know, they should have mastered in the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th grade, they never mastered. I make sure that they have that. And I help them read and function at or above their grade level. Now, that's easier said than done, right? Oh, it's a little connection thing there. It's easier said than done because a lot of times kids, if they haven't been reading for a while, if they haven't been writing for a while, spelling for a while, they have some confidence issues there. It's very uncomfortable for them to read in front of people or to spell. They're worried about getting it wrong. They don't feel confident about doing their work on their own. They don't like feeling like a failure. And a lot of behaviors come from that. I've seen kids over the years, as soon as it's time for them to spell something or it's time for them to do some work and they don't want to do it or it's hard for them to do it, 2 things happen. They try to get help and it's actually help without even trying because this is too difficult. Other thing that happens is behavior problems can come. They become distracted and they can even act out when it's time to do work or try to get kicked out of the classroom when it's time to do work. So I learned back when I was a mental health specialist that there is definitely a correlation between illiteracy, difficulty to read, difficulty reading, and also difficulty doing their work independently, and behavior problems. I learned that when I was in my late 20s. I was working as a mental health specialist in Newark, New Jersey. And I decided right then that I needed to get into the classroom. And I decided I wanted to help kids improve their focus, their behavior, wanted to help them believe in themselves. But I also wanted to help them, because I was already doing that as a mental health specialist, behavior modification, teaching them social skills, right? But at the same time now, with that out of the way, I was going to teach them how to read. I was going to teach them how to spell, to write. I was going to teach them how to be good students and do their homework and do their classwork, right? And I was going to teach them test-taking strategies. I was going to grow their mindset and help them feel confident to take on any test. Like, we got this, all right? All my students know we always saying that, like, we got this, okay? And I started that, like I said, in my late 20s. And then now today, years later, I am fortunate enough, and I feel very blessed and honored. It's an honor and a privilege, honey, to work with moms and dads and children to help them improve their behavior, their focus, and their learning from home, so we can send them to school equipped for success. I also work with the teachers as well. So everybody, we all get together. We all know the action plan. We all communicate with each other. We all have high standards for my students, you know, and we do what needs to be done. In my program, my students know they have their regular days, but if Miss Sharita needs to see you for whatever reason, then I am calling mom, texting mom, emailing mom or dad, and setting up extra time because I need to see you, honey, because we need to work on this so you can get to the next level, okay? So I feel very honored to do what I do. The growth of the students over the years, this program has been in place, my online program, over 2 years now. And the growth in kids that come into our program with behavior problems, with focus challenges, with reading challenges, and writing challenges, and math, it's been amazing. We've had some kids on the honor roll. We have now 2 of our students inducted into the Morgan Unlimited Growth Institute Hall of Fame. That means I started from the bottom, now I'm here. So that means you really grew yourself and you really impressed me, and you're on the honor roll too. You made drastic change, okay? And I have other students that made some really good changes too, but this is for the top students, okay? So I have 2 students inducted into the Morgan Unlimited Growth Institute Hall of Fame. That's Mason Bryant. Was a 4th grader when he was a 3rd grader when he first came to me. And then I have Arciana Edwards, who was 4 years old when she first came to me, and now she's in kindergarten. And the growth that happened between the 2 of them is just astounding, okay? Their moms are absolutely awesome too, okay? So we're just going to keep doing it. What's the mission of the Morgan Unlimited Growth Institute? To help children read and function at or above their grade level, and to help children transition out of special education services into the general education classroom. What does that mean? That means a child may be in special education and they start to grow. They start to grow in their behavior, their focus, and they grow academically. And then they start to need less accommodations in their IEP plan. And then when the IEP meeting comes around, they see that this student is really growing and needs less and less support. And then they transition out of special education into a general education classroom. They have some supports. And now the goal is for them to function independently and not need an aid, okay? And then when that happens, okay, they don't need the IEP anymore. Now they are functioning independently. They can do their tests on their own. They can read on their own. They do their homework on their own. their behavior is good, you know, and they have a champion mindset. Okay, so that's happened more than a few times over my the course of teaching students. I was about to say teaching and coaching. First, I started out as a permanent substitute teacher, and I had 2 students transition that year out of 2 consecutive years out of special education into the general education classroom. So I was like, I want to do it more. Like, every student, let's make this happen. Now, my students, all my students that come to me are not in special education, okay? I've had many students who don't have IEP or even behind, but moms, we want their child into my program, come to my program because they want them to get a boost. The teacher says everything is fine, but they want them to be ahead of the game. We do that too, okay? I push all my students, okay? So, yes, great things, and I just feel honored to be able to combine behavior and learning coaching in one. And I think that's the best way for any child who has fallen behind to be able to move forward and realize their true potential, walk around here like a champion and feeling confident, get their self-esteem back, and feel like they can conquer anything. Okay. So as far as my credentials, I went to school for social work. I have a bachelor's degree in social work, and then I started working at UMD&J in Newark, my stomping ground, my hometown, honey. Where my family from, I was born in Newark, okay? So I started working at UMD&J in Newark, New Jersey, for the University of Behavioral Healthcare Challenge Program, the partial hospitalization program, okay? And then I went on to work for Newark Public Schools, first as a substitute teacher, bouncing from school to school, then as a permanent teacher for a year. Then I became certified and became a resource teacher, a pull-out teacher, okay? Amazing experience, okay? So that's what I was doing before I started my own tutoring at home. I started tutoring downstairs in the basement. Before this was our home. We bought the home later. But I was just renting a space so that I could teach kids my way in the what is now the family room. Okay? And I started with one student, and then my the dad that I was working with who hired me, he asked me if I could teach his younger daughter as well. At first I was just teaching 4th and 5th grade. That's it. And literacy, that's it. That's all I was saying. Nope. But I was getting requests from the dad that I'm talking about, which I'm forever grateful because that's my first student. He was my first client. It's what started it all. From him, and then from other moms who would say, well, can you teach preschool? What can you teach middle school? Can you teach high school? Can you teach math? So now I've expanded to teaching math, and we teach math, and we teach all the fill in the basics, fill in the foundation of what's missing, get them to think, figure it out, right? And solve word problems, okay? So that's the math component. And then soon I'll be teaching my first college student. Came to me by request. She saw I was teaching her sister. She used to come visit all the time during the sessions. And then she just asked me one day, do you teach college students? And again, I was like, no, but how could I say no? You know what I mean? She's amazing. She's absolutely amazing. So I will be teaching her. She started on the 28th. I cannot wait I did her assessment, and we have a plan, we have an action plan, and we're ready to rock and roll. And then also soon I'll be teaching a Black History class that I'm very excited about, near and dear to my heart, that I'll be telling you about soon. So teaching is you know, there are a couple of things in my life that I value more than anything. I absolutely feel honored, and I love being a wife and a mother, okay? And then after that is teaching. Oh my goodness. My students, you know, like, they give me life. They give me life. And And sometimes I'm really tired and I turn on that laptop and we get it in. You know what I mean? I teach students all the way from 4 years old, now all the way up into college level. And it's just amazing. They're a part of the family. I'm a part of their family. The parents, those are my peoples right there, okay? We're all family here. We work together for their growth, okay? All right, so it's a little bit on my background. Now, the last couple of lives, the link will be below in case you missed it. We started out with how to grow your child's thinking, because we know that mindset is really important for children. And when children don't think they can accomplish something, or they're used to having excuses as to why they don't move forward and do what they need to do, they stay stuck there and they don't move forward, or they don't progress. They're blocking their own blessings, honey. They're self-sabotaging themselves because they're thinking of the wrong thing, you know. And to get your child to think better, so that it can serve them and help them become successful, I put together a live for you. I put the link below for you to watch how to grow your child's thinking. I've been growing children's thinking for years. And I'm telling you, this is a big part of the transformations that happen in behavior and the transformations that happen in grades and academic performance. A big part of it is your thinking. And that's why I'm so adamant about that with my students. There are certain things that they just are not allowed to say. They're not allowed to say that. And I teach them how to talk to themselves. And so they start to change their subconscious. And when they have a thought that always comes forward out of fear, right? Out of self-doubt, and then they say it out loud, I catch it. And I teach them how to replace it with something better that's going to help them move forward and know that they got this, okay? So that was one of them. And then another one was how to teach your child's teacher how to have high expectations for your child, okay? So help your child's teacher have high expectations. So we here have high expectations for our children. And then when they go into the school and they go into a classroom, if they receive a lot of help, if the teacher doesn't push them or require that they do better, behave better, work harder, right? Then our children will go to school like, I know this is what mom said, but I can chill when I get up in here. No, there's no chilling, right? So we basically talked about building a relationship with our children's teachers, and being in their corner, but also letting them know what our expectations are and working with them on a plan that we review frequently to see our children's progress, and to always be talking about our goals for them, for our children, to the teacher, so the teacher can be thinking the same thing, okay? And now the child is going to grow at home and at school. You know that's how we do, okay? All right. So, and then the last one that we just did was ways to listen to and connect with our children, okay? I also feel very honored to have had conversations with children, lots of children over the years, where I get to really hear what they think. And I get to really hear their perspective. And sometimes we talk, the job of a parent is a tough one, okay? And as adults, we have to guide our children. We, under no circumstances. Y'all know how I feel about this. And I don't know what's going on nowadays with a lot of the way that we do things, where we are allowing our children to guide themselves, okay? We need to guide our children. But what I was talking about last week is, while we're guiding them, we need the information. We need to know what they think. We need to guide them from where they are. So in order to do that, we need to know what they think. We need to know how they feel. And we need them to express themselves. But the problem that happens sometimes is they express themselves in a disrespectful manner, and we let it slide. We have to teach our children how to communicate, okay? how to communicate to get better results. And it starts at home with us. So if we allow our children to speak to us in a disrespectful manner, or to yell at us, or if they're upset, they get to slam things and throw things, okay, then they're not communicating. And communicating is a two-way street. So we have to teach our children active listening, and we also have to teach them how to communicate their own feelings, so that when they become adults and in relationships, honey, they have those skills, okay? So I talked about setting up an environment where communication is effortless, okay? I talked about questions to ask our children on a regular basis, so they're always talking about their feelings and always talking about what's going on with them in their lives, okay? All right, and I talked about when our children, what was the last thing I talked about? It was in my head and just flew right out. Okay, we'll come back to that. That happens once in a while. I have two competing thoughts, and then one of them is like, all right, I'll be back. So, yeah, so setting up the environment, ways to asking questions so that they can express themselves on a regular basis, because we're always asking these questions, right? I heard my own kids upstairs, right? And then the last one, I flew back in. The last one is when our children are talking to us, they come to us to talk to us, and they ask us a question, instead of just answering them, ask a question so you can really understand where they're coming from. Because a lot of times our children may not express everything. They may just give us a snippet. I gave the example of when my daughter Maya came to me and she asked me if I was going to be going in the second grade class with her when she starts this summer reading program. She's 5 years old, but she reads at a very high level. So I called them and I told them and I told them I needed her to be in a higher level class, not a first grade class, because she's reading way above first grade level as well. They put her in second grade level, and they said they need to, if she's too big for that class, then they'll move her to another class. But because of her age, they're going to just put her in second grade, okay? And then she was, she heard me talking on the phone, and I talked to my husband and about it, and I talked to her, and she had some thoughts. And she just came and asked me, Mom, are you going to be in the classroom with me? And when I go to the summer program, right? It's going to be in my old college too. Woo! And instead of just saying, yes, no, I don't know, I asked, do you want me to be in the same class with you? So that she could just start talking. And she said yes. And then I said, why? Tell me why. Now I'm really listening instead of just answering the question. So getting our kids, asking questions and getting our kids to talk more. When there's an issue going, especially for the teenagers, ask their opinion first before we give our opinion on things, because a lot of times, like I said, we have to know what they think first before we guide them or before we tell them what we think. Or maybe it's fine, they're thinking it's fine, it's healthy, it's good for them, and then we may have a different thought. That's good training too, right? So we talked about a lot over these past couple of weeks, to tell you the truth, okay? So now what I want to do is I want to talk about my the Black History all year round. Y'all, it's gonna be amazing. It's gonna be amazing. Now I'm getting it was for kids, okay, to teach about Black History. But I've gotten 2 messages of moms asking me, asking me, do you teach adults too, or can adults get in this class? And I'm going to do a poll, and I'm going to communicate more with everybody, communicate more with y'all, and let me know if you think the Black History all year round class should just be for children, or should we have it be for family, okay? I'm leaning towards family, but I also want to know what y'all think. Because as we're putting this class together, I'm getting really excited about it. And there's so much information. We all know, we said this for a long time, that there's no way to teach Black history in just a month, 1 month of the year. My feeling on that is because we are going along with what the nation is doing. Okay, so it's a national holiday or month that we celebrate Black history, but we as a people should be learning and teaching and celebrating Black history all year round. So that's where the class came from. Actually, where it came from was when let me turn this TV off. Where's the remote? I got the TV going in the background, nobody watching it. Even though it's muted, but still. When I was a young mom, right? And Jazzy was in, I think, kindergarten. She came home one day and she said to me, "Mommy, my friend said," when they were sitting on the bleachers in gym, my friend said that my dad said, I'm not allowed to play with brown people. And so when she came home and she told me that, she was feeling sad. She didn't understand. And then I have been on this earth and in this country for years, more than her. So all the years in my experiences made me have this very strong reaction, right? I was feeling very upset, and when I talked to her, I just said, "Oh, baby, that's because she don't know how sweet you are," okay? And her dad doesn't know how sweet you are either, because if they knew, they would never say that, okay? So that's what I said, but I didn't feel equipped to deal with that moment, really, to tell you the truth. Then I had all these feelings, you know what I mean? I had all these feelings, like, you want to protect your children from anything, and I didn't know how to protect my child from somebody saying something to her that was such a large issue, okay, that she could never comprehend at that age. I didn't know what to do, okay? So that's the best I could do at that moment. Like, I had Jazzy when I was 27, so I probably was in, I was in my early 30s. So then later on, Jazzy came to me. She was in the 2nd grade, and she said that she was in class and she wanted to play with the girls, and they told her that it was a little club they had going on. So in recess, they told her, if you want to play in this club, you have to have white skin and straight hair. When she told me that was it for me. Okay, I was really upset. I wanted to go to that school. I wanted to talk to the principal. I wanted to talk to the teacher. I wanted to, like, what are y'all letting these kids do in the school? And y'all need to teach tolerance. I was just so upset. Then I had to calm down a bit, and I had to think about it, because that's how my mind works. Like, whenever there's a problem, I think solution. And I think what's the best solution, and then I go to the root of the problem, okay? So when I got my feelings out of the way, I was a little more mature at this time. I got my feelings out of the way, and I'm not saying they weren't valid. Of course they were valid. I was like, the problem is that my daughter doesn't really know much about herself. She knows her mom, she knows her dad, she knows her grandma, you know what I mean? She knows that our skin color and in our house, this is the way it is and stuff. But she don't really know anything about herself or her people. She's going to a school where there were few Black kids in the school. It's like every year it was like her and another Black kid in the class. And I had that experience when I was growing up. When I moved from North New Jersey to Elizabeth, New Jersey, I had that same experience. And I remember feeling out of place. I remember feeling different from everyone. Not many people, or no, so a lot of times I was the only Black kid, okay, that looked like me, you know. And I used to look at the other girls and feel like I should look like them, right? Because I was the only one, okay? And then the kids would say things and I didn't really understand, but it made me feel like this is the box I'm supposed to be in, right? So I hadn't really dealt with that myself, and then now my daughter is going through it, and then I was just like, the problem is that she doesn't know about herself. So I decided right then to teach her about what it means to be black, a person of color, person from Africa, ancestors from Africa. I decided to do that, and I started out with, because she really liked science, I started out with printing out pictures of black inventors, scientists, putting them on her wall and teaching them about their achievements, accomplishments, right? And then drawing the connections between, yes, I like to build things, yes, I like science too, yes, I like experiments, yes, and this is what he did, oh my gosh. I started out with that, and then for her, I had to address two things. One is the accomplishments and her feeling connected and having role models of people who accomplish major things that she has interest in, okay? And the other one was my skin color, my lips. She has very full lips like her dad. My skin color, my lips, and my hair. So for that, I took to the internet again, and this is how I started, right? I printed out pictures of little black girls who look like her, and some of them famous, you know what I mean? Some of them just pictures on the internet. And I made a collage on her wall so that when she woke up in the morning, it was right next to her, like where her bed is. If she looked to the right, she could see all these beautiful little brown girls who look just like her. Brown and black girls look just like her, and hair like hers. Not straight, not white skin, but brown like hers. Lips like hers, okay? So I did that, and then we also did, I found, and we researched about Africa. We researched different countries in Africa, which is one of the things that my students are going to be required to know about the continent of Africa and all the different countries. Be able to list them. We're going to learn how to list them, recite them, spell them, okay? And learn about the people in the different areas, countries in Africa. Learn about different tribes. There's a lot to learn, y'all. That's why it's like, over this year, I'm not going to be able to cover everything. So next year, there's going to be new material, okay? Because I'm not going to be able to cover everything, okay? So we did that, and then I found this cute little band, a Nigerian music group called Super Kids, and we started playing their songs, and there was a lot of African values they were singing about, and they had African clothes on as well, and it was just amazing, and she loved it. Now, by the time my second daughter came around, we had already incorporated this, so she's growing up with a strong sense of, and she's growing up with a strong sense of herself, and she's also growing up knowing about her black people and inventors and accomplishments. And also my oldest daughter took us to an African restaurant, and we experienced that. And then we always, all kind of music from different time periods here in the United States, and you know, and African music and Jamaican music, because my kids are half Jamaican. Jamaican music as well. I mean, anything I could think of, okay? But, so Maya has never looked at herself and felt that way. And plus, the school that she's in, there's a lot of black kids that look like her, right? And in this school, they're actually celebrating Black History Month like nothing I've ever seen, okay? They had an African dance night where they hired an instructor to come in, and we went, and it was all the moms and the kids there. We were doing the African dance, okay? Did that. Every day Maya's coming home from school asking me, do you know about Jackie Robinson? She already knew about Dr. Mae Jemison and Madam C.J. Walker and Mr. Gary Morgan. She already knew about them because she learned about it in my class and more. But the school is doing a great job as well, okay? So I'm very grateful for that. So she has a totally different experience than my first daughter did. So my first daughter, she had to build up pride in herself and her people and who she was. And we had to work on that because she was not in an environment where that was a topic, okay? And that was something that, you know, she had other kids that she could relate to a lot, okay? And Black history, when it was taught in school, was about slavery, oppression, right? And that's about it, right? Dr. Martin Luther King, Rosa Parks, Malcolm X, right? But that's really what Black history experience she was getting. And then the other question I had to ask myself when I started this journey with my own children, and I'll talk to you about where I'm at right now, is in reality, how can I expect the schools to teach my daughter about herself? They're not equipped. They don't know. I can't expect nobody to teach me about me. So I'm going to do it. Okay? And I want to teach my own children. So instead of being upset with the school, I decided to do something about it. And I decided that they don't know me, and they can't know me better than I know me. So I have to create this environment at home where my daughter really knows herself and knows about herself and her people, okay? And that's what I did with my second daughter as well. And this is where we are as a family. Now this class is I'm putting together the Black history. There's so much information, so much to learn. And I have, for every month, we're working on new material, right? And every week we are expanding on the material that we're learning. But I'm like, man, this is so much more, so much information. Like from migration from Africa to different parts of the world and Black people all over the world. The culture, tradition, music, achievements, different religions, right? And then also food, right? Food from different parts of the world, okay? And then geography as well. And then the pyramids, you know, in Egypt, but also there are pyramids found in the United States. I mean, it's so much more than I'm even saying right now, that I'm still learning as I'm putting the class together to teach. So it's going to be very fresh. And I'm going to tell you what it's not going to be. It's not going to be a class where I'm teaching and I am drilling information into students. It's going to be a thinking class. We're going to present information. We're going to learn about things, but the students, whether it be just children or families, and I'll tell you more what I decided soon, and it's based on the demand, we'll have freedom to think, ask questions. We will be exploring, and it will be a family where everybody gets to talk and contribute and ask more questions, and we will learn more, and it's going to be very customized. I have an outline, I have a syllabus, but just like in my tutoring and coaching program, whatever needs to be learned or whatever needs to be worked on in a moment, we take care of. So it's not just going to be what I put together, you know what I mean? What we put together for the year is also going to be customized. I'm also going to be taking requests. We're going to be discussing different viewpoints, okay? So I'm very excited about this because I didn't have this kind of experience until I took African Studies class in college. That's when I started having that kind of experience. And I also had a Black history teacher in high school. I remember Mr. Taylor. And I remember him because there was I think we did a culture day, and my mother, who knew how to make African dishes, she made this African dish called yassa with chicken. It's chicken with onions and garlic and spices, the mustard sauce, and it just cooks down. Or sometimes my mom put mushrooms in it. I cook it at home here, and with rice. And then she brought that in, and the class went crazy. And Mr. Taylor was hot, y'all, because he let the kids eat first, and he's like, y'all ain't leave me no good piece of chicken. He was so upset. Because the kids just tore it up. These teenagers tore that food up. And he was like, y'all took all the big pieces of chicken. Y'all ain't leave me no chicken. But I remember Mr. Taylor, that was my Black History class. So this class that I'm teaching is it's a combination of my experiences as a mom, or myself as a child, and what I wanted to know and what I feel like I wish I knew, even though we learned a lot about the African culture in my own house as well, okay? But in schools, what I wish I could have known and learned about, and also my Black History class, and also my African Studies class, and also my experiences as a mother with my own children, and everything that we're learning about now. But and I'm gonna have to wrap this up soon. Move on to the next thing. It's 12:43. I'm here until 1:00 p.m. But we're going to be learning Black history from a strengths basis, okay? From a strength perspective and a growth perspective. Instead of, because I have really strong feelings about our children growing up, and the most of what they hear about us is slavery and oppression. That does something to kids. And kids grow up and become adults. We don't want our kids walking around feeling like my ancestors were slaves. Because first of all, it's not accurate, okay? Slavery happened, and it happened for a long time in this country. So there's definitely an impact on our people. But we have so much more history than that. So we don't want our children to think that I came from slaves and I came from slavery, because then that means I am a slave, okay? So we don't want our children thinking that. We want our children knowing everything about what it means to be Black, what it means to be a person of color, what it means to be a person from African descent, okay? Everything, and different theories on that, okay? Everything there is to know. So that's what I've done with my children, and I continue to do. There's still more to learn, and I feel like this is going to be a class that evolves year after year after year after year after year, and it's going to be very beneficial for our children and also ourselves. So I feel honored to be teaching this class, okay? You can enroll at any time, okay? But it's going to start in a couple of weeks. We'll announce the date soon as we send the ad around for moms to sign up, and dads as well to sign up. And we get enough people in the class, we will get started, okay? But you can come after that. You can at any time you can start the class, and you're welcome to come. Your questions are welcome. Your ideas and thoughts are welcome. You will be respected and you will be honored, and that will contribute to our learning as well. So I cannot tell y'all how I feel even talking to y'all about this right now. I cannot even wait. It's amazing to me being able to teach and impact the lives of kids every day. What I've been doing has been absolutely amazing, and I feel like to be able to do this, it's just an honor. So I thank you. I thank you so much. I'm just happy to be here, okay? All right, now let's talk about programs and pricing, okay? Usually I talk to moms about programs and pricing because I want to provide thorough assessment, and I want to get to know her child's needs and develop a customized plan before I say the program and pricing, because my program is very customized. My goal, like I said, is to help children read and function at above grade level or transition out of need special education services. So some of my students, when they come in, after I meet with their moms and I do an assessment, I'm asking questions, and then I meet with them and I have them do tasks for me, and I'm watching everything to see what they know and what they don't know. I want to see how they work. I want to see if they're distracted, and at what point do they get distracted. Okay, because I read behavior. Okay, I love to read. That's the literacy part. Behavior, and that's the math part. The behavior part. Okay, and I combine them together for success. So I do all of that, and when I'm done with the video consultation, I know exactly what kind of program my students need. Either they'll need a beginner's program, which is 3 days a week, okay? And in the beginner's program, that means I have to start from scratch. So my students come in and they don't know letter sounds. I have to start from scratch to teach them letter sounds. They don't know their sight words, and that's really what's holding them back from reading is they don't know their letter sounds or their sight words. Some of them don't know their letters, okay? And I need to teach them that. And then some of them write their letters and numbers backwards. We gotta work on that. So these are when I say the basics, the foundation of what they were supposed to learn when they were really young. If they don't know, and the same thing with math. Can they count to 100? Do they recognize their numbers? Can they count by tens? If they add and subtract and they're older, are they using their fingers? They need to get quicker. Okay? So those are things that make me have them in the beginners group. So the beginners group is 3 days a week, and we're talking just I have an early learning group, and that's for 4 years old, 5 years old, and it depends. And sometimes I have a 6-year-old or 7-year-old in that group. But that's because they really struggle and they are far, far, far behind on the most basic of levels. So that's my early learning group. Then after that, I have the beginners elementary group and the beginners middle school / high school group. And that's for kids, like I said, that I need to start from scratch. Now, once I get them, get their foundation in place, then it's time for them to transition and get promoted into the advanced group. So a child will come into my program, and I've had many children come into my program. They start out in beginners elementary group, then they progress so much, and all the basics, the foundation, and they must know their sight words before they can go to advanced elementary group. Okay, they learn my coaching strategies. They learn how to do it themselves. You know what I mean? They learn self-editing when they're doing their writing. Some people have to learn how to write a sentence. I work on that in the beginners elementary group. Okay, it's sentence structure. Once they're able to do all that, and they're doing pretty good. Now it's time for the advanced group. The advanced group is 2 days per week. In the advanced group, I'm no longer focused on the basics or the foundation. In the advanced group, the goal now is to make sure you get to a point where you're functioning and reading on or above your grade level. That's the focus of the advanced group, okay? My students in the beginners group get challenged, and my students in the advanced group get challenged, okay? It doesn't matter if they're far behind or if they're doing good. They just need a little push. Mom wants or dad wants a little push. They want them to perform at a higher level. They want them to be challenged. It doesn't matter. All my students get challenged by me. And I teach and coach all of them on their challenge level. Because once we master this challenge level, now it's time to go to the next level, okay? So beginners group, and then get promoted to the advanced group. Beginners elementary group, and then promoted to advanced elementary group. Beginners middle / high school group, get promoted to advanced middle / high school group. So sometimes I have a student, like right now I have a student in the early learning group who she's above or further along than the other students in the group, but she's not quite ready for the advanced group, or beginners group is where she's supposed to be. So when that happens, I schedule extra sessions to work with the students one-on-one to help them transition, or I have them doing their regular classes in the early learning group or the beginners group, and then I'll have them do a class with the advanced group. So just so they get used to being at a higher level. It's all customized, and when they start to get used to that and they grow enough out of this group, then they can make the clean transition, okay? So I'm telling you all that to let you know how I customize my students' learning to make sure they accomplish their goals and make sure they grow, okay? So now that we know the levels, okay, I'm going to tell you the features, the benefits, okay? So for all my students, whether they're in the early learning group or beginners groups or the advanced groups, and also have a math word problem group as well, and that's for the advanced middle high school students, okay? Okay, one more thing. For the beginners elementary group, I work on literacy and also a little math as well, so I mix it. But when they get to the middle and high school groups, I split it up so we can really concentrate on it, okay? So also, all my students get extra sessions. So they have 2 classes a week, but their parents can schedule, they get emails every week to schedule the extra session. The extra session is 30 minutes where I work with them on whatever mom wants me to work on or dad wants me to work on, or whatever I feel like they need, that I've noticed that I want to work with them one-on-one. That's what that's for. Sometimes I'll text mom and be like, I want to meet with so-and-so, her son or daughter, to work on this, okay? And they're like, all right, schedule it, you know what I mean? And then we make it happen, okay? They get extra sessions and monthly action plan review where I meet with mom and dad every month to discuss their goals, okay? Because each of them get a behavior goal and a literacy goal and a math goal. When they first starting out, they get all these goals, and then when they master them, we move on and I add new goals. Or they're getting better, but we're still working on this, and we're going to add this one. I noticed this needs to be worked on. Mom will say, I'm like, okay, let's add this goal. So they have goals that's always being customized as well, okay? So I do a monthly action plan review with mom or dad, and or mom and dad, right? And that's the purpose of the action plan review. So they were always assessing, always talking about progress that's been happening, always tweaking it and adding whatever new thing we need to do to the action plan, because they have an action plan of goals, okay? And then they have some goals we're focusing on, okay? And we do that every single month, okay? Also, I reach out to teachers every month, and I meet with the teachers during teacher conference. I just had one yesterday. I meet with the teachers, my older students, and have 4 teachers at one time that I'm meeting with. And I asked them about my students' performance in the classroom. I asked about any testing that they just had that test their level of reading, math, right? What level are they right now doing reading on according to the test? And what level are they functioning on when they're doing math according to the test? And then that helps me with my coaching so that I know we're not there yet, and what are they missing, and we're going to zero in on this until they make it happen, because I want those test results to keep going up and up and up and up. All right? So I meet with the teachers, I provide support to teachers, and I find out a lot of what my students do in school that they might try to hide. They can't hide, okay? And then I communicate with the mom and my students after that as well. Okay, so action plan review, extra sessions, monthly teacher conferences as well, and then just additional support, okay? And then support and coaching for mom or dad on how to provide a growth and achievement environment at home. So my students are working from home, growing themselves behaviorally and academically. So this is all this included. Okay, now pricing. For my beginners group or any group that needs 3 days per week, and the prices will go up next year, but right now this is where we're at. We're at $330 per month, and that's including all those services. Okay, I charge a flat rate because and then these are the services. The way I do it, like I said, it's very customized. If I need to talk to the teacher, I want to be able to do that. If I want to attend an IEP meeting, or a mom, like one of my moms yesterday asked me to attend the next IEP meeting, I'm there. You know what I mean? Whatever needs to happen, I do it. And I don't charge a new fee for everything because I got work to do. So I just charge one fee, and then I go in and I do whatever needs to be done so that we can, mom can always have the support she needs. My students and dads and my students always have the support they need, and then or the push they need. Okay, and then we get into the next level. So it's $330 for the beginners elementary group or the early learning group, and then when they get promoted to the advanced, it's 2 days per week. That's $245 per month. Okay, for 2 days of coaching and tutoring per week. Okay, my mom told me my prices are really affordable, and like I said, they are going to increase next year, but this is where we're at right now. Okay, the Black History class that's going to come up, it's going to be 1 class per week, and it's going to be happening all year round, like I said, and that is $129 per month. So you come to the Black History class, and that one is not the extra sessions and everything. It's just 1 class per week, even though we'll communicate, right? Outside of the classroom, okay? That one would be $129 per month, okay? Okay, so we got the beginners elementary group, we got early learning group and the beginners groups, and that's $330 per month. They get promoted, and that's $245 per month. And then we got the Black History class, and that's 1 day a week, and that's $129 per month. Now, the last, and I really never talk about this, even for my parents in the program, I've never said this to them, okay? I have a secret referral discount, okay? I have a secret referral. I have 2 discounts, okay? The reason I don't talk about the referral discount is because I want my parents to refer people to make a referral when they feel comfortable and they feel like my services are really good. Then they just talking out of their heart, you know what I mean? They feel good about it, and then they're giving. So a lot of my students have come from referrals, and after they come into the program, then I'll let mom know, I'll let dad know about 10% off of their, actually it's 12% off of their monthly fee, because they have a friend that's coming into the, I call it the friendship discount, okay, into the program. So if you have a friend that comes to the program, they get a discount and you get a discount, all right? And they get 10% and you get 12%. And then I have another discount for more than 1 child, because parents have signed up 2 children at a time, and that overall is a 10% discount as well, okay? So those are my discounts. Like I said, I usually don't talk about them until after the referral is made and the new student begins, and then I let mom or dad know, by the way, you qualify for the referral discount, thank you so much. And they usually say, I didn't even know it was a discount. I was just telling them about your program because I think I'm very happy with my child's growth and progress. So I was just telling them about it. And for me, I appreciate that, because I work, you know, like I said, it's an honor and a privilege to do this. And I feel honored that moms and dads trust me to join their children on their behavior and academic growth journey. You know what I mean? So for me, I work very hard to make sure they're successful and to make sure my parents are happy with the progress. So that makes me feel really good. So that's why I don't really talk about that, but I'm talking about pricing today. So that I just let you know there are two kinds of discounts coming into the program. Okay, so I thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you have a wonderful Saturday. If you have any other questions, today I've answered questions that I've gotten and been getting from moms. A lot of times when people DM me, they want to know about my services, but they also want to know what the price, how much is it, right? And I usually say, I won't really know that until I do the consultation, which is a phone consultation. I meet with parent first, then I do a video consultation. That part is where I include the assessment, and after that, I develop an action plan, customized action plan for success. So when I go into the program, the first meeting, I know exactly what needs to happen with my students coming in. This is not a program where you just sign up, you pay, and then put your child in the classroom, and then I work with them. I make sure I know from mom's perspective, from dad's perspective, and also I ask the kids too what they want to improve on. You know what I mean? As far as behavior, focus, literacy, math, what do they think they're good at and what do they want to get better at? So it's very custom. I get all that information because when I'm ready to work, I'm ready to go. Okay? And I don't want to be figuring stuff out, and I want to make sure it's customized so to guarantee growth and success. So that's why I do it like that. And I tell them I won't know until after I finish that process. So I've given you the information. I've given you the prices, and I've given you the discounts. Now, when the students come into my program, one thing that I won't do is put a child in the wrong program because of price. So we're still going to go through the process of with the assessment and getting to know you and getting to know your child, so that I make sure I put them in the best possible program so that I can help them read at or above their grade level if they're right there, or achieve honor roll if that's the goal, right? Which that's the goal anyway. Or start them at the beginning and graduate them or promote them to the advanced group. Okay, whatever needs to happen, that's how I work. I don't work out of step because of price. So I'm just letting you know, we have the information, but there is a process. And every child is in every group at any given time because that's exactly what they need to change the game and take it to the next level. All right? That's how we do it. I want to thank y'all so much for joining me today. All right? I love y'all so much. And I'm looking forward to the next live come up on Saturday. It'll be announced soon. And I'm going to post a link for more information. Go to growthinstitute.mykajabi.com. So I'll post that link in the description and in the comment section. Again, that's GROWTH Institute.com. You can send me a message. You can send me a message with a question and I can answer on the next live, okay? You can send me a message about my tutoring and coaching programs. Or you can also send me a message to sign up in advance for my my Black History all year round class, okay? Whatever you want, I'm here for you. We're here for you. If we don't respond in the comment section right away, that's because we're working. Saturday is a really busy day, but we will definitely get back to you in the comment section or when you send a message, direct message. You can also, for even quicker response, go email me at Growth Institute. It's GROWTH Institute 100@gmail.com. I will put that also in the description and in the comment section. I love y'all so much. Thank you so much for your time. I'm very excited about your child's growth. All right? You're champion. All right? Believe in yourself. Believe in your child, honey. And always remember that growth is unlimited. Peace.